Okay, suspension time on the Range Rover Classic. Been pretty excited about this one. It's been a long time coming. I'll explain here in a second. Okay, so we're finally ready to do the suspension, wheels and tires on the Range Rover Classic, the 89 that got resprayed and the grills and bumpers and all that you have seen if you've been following on the channel. So behind me is the suspension that I ordered. Now, I admittedly ordered this suspension probably like 7, 8, 9 months ago, something like that. Basically when I had the whole build mapped out, knew all the parts I wanted to get. I purchased everything, and a bunch of it's been sitting here in the home garage waiting for the rust repair and the respray and just all that stuff. So I'm gonna walk you through what we got, how it works, what the plan is, and then of course I'm gonna take you through the process so you can see the before and after. But lift, wheels and tires on these Land Rover projects, like the D1, which is on the channel, it's just awesome. I mean, it's just this moment where the car really comes together. My opinion, any car, whether it's a sports car or an off-road car or an SUV or anything like that, it's hard to really get the whole visual until you get that stuff dialed in. You know, in a sports car, getting it lowered, getting the fitment and spacers and wheel size and offsets and all that stuff super important. Equally on like an SUV or an overland build or something like that, getting the car up, getting like properly sized wheels and tires, you know, something kind of beefy, something that looks cool, really, for lack of a better word, just brings the build together in a big way. It's kind of hard to see it before you do that. So really excited to get this on. Let me walk you through everything we got out. Okay, so I picked up this kit from Lucky 8 Off-Road. Great site. I've ordered a ton of stuff for the LR3 build, the Range Rover Sport build, probably some stuff for the D1. Anyway, really good source for aftermarket parts, great customer service. So like I said, got this a while ago, but this is the old Man Emu 2-inch HD lift kit. There's certainly a bunch of different lift kits out there if you do your research. Terra Firma makes a number of them that are pretty reasonably priced, but this one is a little more on the expensive end. I mean, it's not that big a difference. We're talking a few $100s either way, but OME is just known for super high quality, you know, suspensions and shocks and things like that. So I decided to go with that kit. You know, really want to do this Range Rover Classic right with the money I've invested so far. So we've got our 2-inch springs. So these will basically do what they say. Let the car sit 2 inches higher. Went with 2 inches on this one. Didn't want to go 3 or, you know, anything above 2. This is going for a little more classic look, but I still want it lifted and a little more like, I don't know, off-road and, you know, just kind of larger wheels, tires, what have you. I did the 3-inch obviously in the D1. So these are 2. I think that's going to be a really good height. Quick note on these, they're labeled A and B. You can actually see, I think here, the A label on this one. And so A is the driver side, B is the passenger side. They're designed assuming that a lot of times, well, all the time, you're gonna have a driver in the driver's side. So you're gonna have a little more weight there, you know, 150 to 250 pounds for like an average person. So they designed these a little differently. As you can see, the A side sits a little taller, meaning that with that extra weight, the car should sit evenly without being off kilter one with the other. And then of course you've got 2 different heights, front and back. And then on this side, we've got 4 shocks. So we've got 2 front, 2 rear. The rear are these right here, which have this perpendicular opening with the bushing that threads through the part on the car. And then of course has a standard piece at the bottom. And then the front shocks are gonna have just your standard top and bottom. This is all the hardware. So you've got rubber bushings, you've got various plates and lock nuts. And then in the back, we've got a steering damper with the associated hardware back here. So one of the well-known issues with the Range Rover Classics, early discoveries, a lot of Defenders, is you get a lot of steering wobble. Some people call it like the death rattle on the highway. Like the steering damper that comes on the car is not great. It wears out. But this is one of the easiest upgrades you can make, honestly, on these cars, is to just swap out for a nice modern steering damper. This one happens to be the matched OME. So I decided to go with that one, but it's supposed to give you just a ton more feel and control and just firmness in the steering and just, I don't know, give you a much upgraded feel, like a more modern driver feel, even on an old car. So this is what we're working with. We are going to go ahead and get this stuff installed. Now, I did a pretty in-depth step-by-step on the D1. There is a video on the channel. You guys can go back and look at that. Given that, I'm not going to go like literally step-by-step on this. It's very, very similar, if not almost identical, more or less, on the Discovery 1 as it is on the Range Rover Classic. The suspension and chassis and everything is set up really in the same way. So Go watch that video if you want to know step by step. Otherwise, I'm going to kind of blow through this. I really want to get this on, but let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so suspension's installed. Really happy with how this turned out. I think the just look of this car is so good with, you know, just a minimal lift and some wheel spacers to get, you know, kind of best of both. You get the, you know, narrow tires, which are certainly, you know, period correct, but also, you know, car's like a nice presence and a nice stance to it. So really happy with the system. You know, once it's on, it's high quality, obviously, which is great. You know, old Man Emu makes great stuff, no debating that. But yeah, just really happy with how this turned out. So I know this one was a quick one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed kind of seeing this thing come together. You know, this is sort of the final look, if you will. There's a little bit of miscellaneous stuff to do. This vehicle is going to be for sale, so probably going to be moving on from this build to the next owner. But yeah, here's kind of the final major project for the build series. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Got a bunch of other stuff coming to the channel, so please subscribe. Kind of keep looking at the channel and enjoying some of the things we're bringing. But thanks for following this one. It's been a really unique build, something that I've wanted to do for a long time in terms of experiencing the Range Rover Classic. And I have to say, these vehicles are something super special. So really enjoyed this one and looking forward to my next project.